Good evening, dear friend. This is the January 27th, Saturday night version. I keep thinking tonight's Sunday for some reason. I have no idea. Forgive me. I had a wild day today. A wild day. We'll tell you all about that. I'll take you into what I'm thinking, what I'm going through, what you're dying to know. And I know you live for my observations, and I know it's true. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't help it. That's the way it goes. And if observations are what you like, I'm getting ready because coming February the 3rd, a week from tonight, my friends, a week from tonight, oh yeah, I'm going to be hitting the cutting room stage, ready to go. And I'm already finally tuning the script as it writes itself today. Now let's get down to brass tacks, my friends. Are you done with this uh, Donald Trump love affair, this suck up? Are you coming down to earth? Do you realize that maybe he might have screwed up here? Anybody make any observations that he might have kind of blown this by pissing off the jury? Anybody? He went from $5 million to 83. What? First case, 5 million plus the sexual assault, the offense, 5 million tops. He opens up his big mouth, hires Alina Hamana, and now he's looking at 83. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay? Do you understand this? this is this is just, But what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I find it fascinating. And he will appeal, of course. He will appeal. I think he's got some good stuff to appeal, believe it or not. This notion about this default judgment stuff, I think, is ridiculous. I think it's crazy. He basically walked in there, and the jury all they had to consider what they never even looked at the facts of the case. Don't they want to hear the facts of the case? Don't you think? Every now and then, sometimes something will come along and you tell the story in such a way that it sounds ridiculous and far-fetched. And yet, how do I say this? Yet the way it's phrased is actually an admission. Let me see if I can explain this to you. When I said this, when Bill Clinton was charged, in effect, found liable, whatever, of having, the Monica Lewinsky affair thing. That was a big deal. Hey, look who it is. It's Pluffy. Pluffy says it's not because of his behavior. This is blackmail. Sort of. But Pluffy, by the way, thanks for the kindness. But Pluffy, you do know that he didn't shut his big mouth, right? You do know that he pissed off that jury, right? Even more so, right? Oh, I hate this damn thing. Let me turn these reactions off. You know that, right? Pluffy, work with me. Pluffy, hey. Just acknowledge what I'm saying. Acknowledge what I'm saying. He went out of his way to piss off everybody, okay? Oh, they didn't like him. Hey, look who it is. Ibrahim, member for 1 month. Guess who's back? Back again. Wait, Ibrahim, God bless you. Welcome back, dude. I guess you're a dude. I don't know. Okay? I'd love to have Cat Williams replace Trump. I think Cat Williams is a genius. Okay? Now, it kills you. It kills you to realize this, that Trump was such a jadrul himself. He went out and he storms out. And then his lawyer the judge is telling her, I'm going to put you in lockup because she wants to relitigate something that was already done. Listen, they have, and then she's going to maybe go and ask for a remitter or something after the fact. And after she's gone out because, oh, there's a camera. Oh, I'm going to make my, I'm going to make my, I'm going to make my name. They're going to know me. What about Trump? Ah, the hell with Trump. But they're going to know, Alina, but do you like my shoes? Do you like my shoes? Look at my bag. Am I hot? Do you think I'm hot? Huh? You know what I'm saying is true. Puffy says $78 million mistake. Come on. Dude or dudette, you do understand, right? You do understand that this was just, you do understand. I think we may have a little bit to perhaps appeal here. But to sit there and basically call into effect, to say, to have him here during a deposition, she's not my type. To be fair, she is hot. Hey, listen there, Tiger. When you have this hot, okay, lawyer go out and basically trash the judge, take her. Take her. Take her. Go ahead. You know who's hot? You know who's hot? A woman who can take a $5 million judgment, which was basically the initial case of the sexual assault, not rape, sexual assault, and defamation for 5 million, turn it around and get 80 out of it. That's hot. Okay? That's hot. Hang on a minute. There we go. Bull Trader says, if Trump is guilty of rape, how is he not in jail? He wasn't. Bull, this was a civil trial. Number one. Number two, he was found liable of sexual assault, non-penetration, non-penile penetration. Okay? So that's the way it was. He wasn't charged with rape. There is a civil, you know that there is a crime of murder and then there's wrongful death. That's the civil portion of this. It's killing you. It's killing you that he basically should have just shut his mouth and said, especially during the deposition, as little as possible. Do you remember her? No. You know who gave a great deposition? Great? Epstein. Remember his deposition? It was the best. He didn't say anything. He was like this. He said nothing. Not Trump. No. A friend of mine says, don't you understand how many times he's been through more lawsuits, given more depositions? He's never learned anything. You know what the rule of a deposition is? You don't say anything. You don't say anything. You're being interviewed by the other side's lawyer. Why are you talking? Why? They're recording it. You do know this, right? I know you know this. Even a hot lawyer, as you would say, I don't even know if she was on board because he had that Joe Tacopina, that other bombast who isn't here anymore. You practice. You don't coach on how to what to say, but you say, "Let me show you what a deposition looks like." Do you remember this? No. If it's true. Did you have any moment of intimacy with her? No. Do you know who she is? No. I don't remember. No. As if you could say everything yes, no, oh my God, you just want to get this record. Like this is the worst. This is the worst deposition. He's never said anything. That's right. Not Trump. Oh no, he's talking up a storm. Oh God. And then after it, he ignores her. He basically says, I didn't talk about her on social media. I don't know who she is. You almost sometimes would be better off acting like somebody's crazy. Like, well, I hope she, gets help. Move on. She's obviously, not even that. But not Trump. No, no. He said things like, she's not my type for sexual assault. So you do have a type for sexual assault? You won't get it through your head. You love him. Say it. Who's the first one to tell me, look, I love it. I love it. I love him. I can't say anything bad about him. He's my genius. Say it. Who has the guts? Come on. Come forward and say, you don't understand. I'm here to defend him. If he pulls a Vince McMahon right there on the table in the courtroom in front of the jury, I'm going to defend him too. How about that Vince McMahon? He's really in trouble. Drops a steamer there. Oh man, this guy's. I mean, listen, I don't even know what that. You want to talk about why that's not criminal if this is true. Don't you understand this? Don't you understand this? Come on. You just can't bring it upon yourself to understand. And they say, this woman's crazy. Jury didn't think so. She didn't ever remember what day it was. Jury didn't think so. Jury agreed. She seemed to, and by the way, this case was different. This was all about defamation. This wasn't about the first case is the one you should be talking about. See what's going on? Here's Pluffy. Pluffy, by the way, Pluffy says, you're comparing the Epstein situation to Trump. Damn right. One is the effing president. No president has been treated like Trump. No president has been mistreated before. Yes, I agree with you. I think absolutely. But what I'm saying with Epstein was Epstein's deposition was great. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling Trump should watch that posthumously ever since they murdered Epstein and bring up that. That's a different story. Oh, I agree with you. Nobody's been after Trump like Trump. So why doesn't Trump act like it and shut up? George Len says, it was his to lose. All he had to do was be the anti-Trump for a short period of time. Where was the coaching? Absolutely. George, for a guy named George, you are pretty good, my friend. Bull Trader says, what is the likelihood Trump pays any money to the so-called victim? Oh, big time. Oh, he'll pay something. Absolutely. By the way, Ibra just gifted 5 Lionel Nation memberships. Thank you, Ibra. Good man. Lori Cuck, by the way, says, I'm with Trump no matter what. You know what? I appreciate that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm with him too. You know I'm voting for him. And you know, Lori, I don't want him to step on his schlong and hurt himself. You know I want him to be in good shape so he can save the country. You know that, right, Lori? Lori, do you know that? Just nod once. Nod once, please. Please. But when it comes to his self-destructive stuff, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Oh, I would have. E. Jean Carroll? Never heard of her. It would have driven her crazy. What? Did you hear what Trump said about you? Gene, what? What did he say? Nothing. What? Nothing. Wait a minute. What do you mean nothing? Trump didn't say anything on Truth Social. No, Trump had to say something. No, Trump never said it. No, Trump always says something. Trump hates everybody. Trump never mentioned your name. What are you talking about? Trump never mentioned your name. He didn't? Nothing. He never mentioned you. Are you sure? Yes. Oh my God. Never said anything? Never said anything. Never? Nothing. Nothing. It would have driven her nuts. Do you see that? Do you see what I just told you? Do you see what I just told you? She would have gone crazy. Crazy. There are some people who pretend that they don't want to hear bad stuff. Let me give you an example. Have you heard the story about Taylor Swift? She's very upset because allegedly, because they have AI generated nudes of her in the internet. Now, let me just say something. I don't know Taylor Swift. I've never met her. But if she's like most people, that is absolute bullshit. She probably said, I love it. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me there's nudes of me that aren't me? How do they look? Lori says, I know. We're trying to get him back. Oh, absolutely. No, I'm with you, Lori. Okay. What if Taylor Swift sees these nudes and they say, look at these? How do they look? Well, in this one batch, they look like, remember Honey Boo Boo? Mama June? They look like your face on Mama June. What? Yeah, but these, don't worry, they're not you. No, wait. You mean to tell me that, wait. You mean to tell me that my deep fakes look like Mama June or Lulu Roman from Hee Haw? Yeah. Would that bother her? Would she be offended? Or would she be offended that they don't look good? Do you think for a moment, anybody seriously, anybody like Taylor Swift, who's every single time you turn around, every time she belches or scratches herself, there's some paparazzi there, paparazzo. By the way, paparazzo singular, paparazzi plural. Do you think she's really upset about this? Nudes, fake news. You're in the nudes news. Don't you love this? I'm telling you, they had to put fake pictures, deep fakes, who don't look anything like her. Some 85-year-old, retiree. That would be something. Would that offend her? No. Why not? Those are her nudes. See, this fascinates me. You don't understand this. Deep fakes are fakes. They're not you. If God forbid somebody puts a picture of you and it's not you, what are you going to do? Hey, what is this? It's a napkin, but what is this? This isn't me. Nobody says it was you. It's obviously a deep fake. Well, you better take this down. But it's not you. Yeah, but remember that fellow? Remember his name is Penny, Daniel Penny. He is the Marine hero who took down that dirt bag. Remember that guy? Killed him. That's for you, by the way. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, good. Every now and then, yeah, we get good humidity. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, like a mosquito. Huh? You get all kinds. Oh, God. How you feeling? Oh, pretty good. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why. Today I was in a Costco with Mrs. L. I'll tell you about that one time. It takes me 4 days to come down off of that one. And we actually went through the gas line. Everybody said, you got to get the gas. It's like, I think for the high test, nothing but the best for the Yugo. It's like 30 cents cheaper. I don't know what it was, but it was like, is this worth it? I'm in this. It was like one of those lines, when like at the end of time, it reminded me of the 7. Didn't that remind you today of like Jimmy Carter days? Didn't I remind you of this? Edge Dweller says, if E. Jean is Epstein of sorts, will payment continue to proceed to her or him if they or them are not a natural person? Interesting. You know what? Not that we would ever kid about that, but in the event that somebody, let's say somebody who was a judgment, a creditor, a successful plaintiff, it would probably go to the estate. That's a very interesting question. Uh, Depends upon how the judgment was aligned. Very interesting question. Bull Trader says lawyers failed Mr. Trump during his civil trial. How can this happen? Oh, how can this happen? Well, a couple of things. First of all, I don't know if a lot of lawyers want to even be near him. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if, she's getting a, there was a picture of her showing up at Trump Tower with her little bag and her shoes. I thought, okay, this is it. She's just loving this. She is loving this. I don't need this. Sorry. No. Because he's so de starura. The way he, remember that time he was on with Howard Stern, the way he talked about his daughter? It's weird. He and women sometimes, very strange. But this is your lawyer. Joe Tacopina, or Tapioca, as a friend of ours called it, he's out of the picture. Thank God. This guy's a real jadrol. He was the one who was trying to talk about, well, it's impossible for you to be attacked. Anyway. So, and then other lawyers say he stiffed them. I don't know if this is true. Some lawyers say, hey, you owe me for this and that. Plus, I don't know whether he's liquid or not, but maybe she's the only one stupid enough to do this. Now, let me ask you something. Ladies, how would you think it would be best to approach a woman who claims to have been, by virtue of this thing, claims to have been sexually battered by your client, and you're in the defamation part? You're not in, and by the way, this is going to come up because I think there's a real serious, if he couldn't even explain to the jury, look, listen to me this way. Let me tell you how I would do this. All right. Listen to me carefully. But first, I want you to listen to this. This is our great friend. Mike Lindell. Okay. Just listen to what I'm saying. I want this man, I want him to enjoy an apotheosis, the likes of which we have never seen, by virtue of what they're doing to him. Plus, he has the best stuff. The best. Look at his, well, just listen to this. All right, my friend. It's time to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. Solid disproverbial. mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, the best. Okay, let's do it like this. Sometimes you tell people the truth, but in a way that sounds sarcastic. Let me give you an example. Imagine Bill Clinton when Monica Lewinsky came up. Bill Clinton says, okay, let me get this story straight. Yeah, let me tell you what happened. You see, I'm the president of the United States. I have women throwing themselves at me like you can't believe. I'm rather charismatic. People love me, but they, I mean, ambassadors' wives, heads of state. Do you know how big the government is? I've got judges. I've got I've got people. When I go to any kind of a foreign thing, oh God. And if I'm dealing with the Arabs, Saudi Arabia, oh, they'll say, "What do you want?" They're going, but that's part of being a president. So let me get this straight. Me, Bill Clinton, William Jefferson Clinton, who can have any woman I want. Guess who I want? This one. Monica Lewinsky, some 19, 20, whatever year old with a beret. And I'm supposed to play hide the Panatella with this one in the White House. Is that what you're saying? We're doing this? Out of all the women in the world. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Her. I'm risking everything. A 19, what was she? 20 years old, 20, 21, whatever. She's not going to keep her mouth shut. There's a pun there. What are you, nuts? Nuts? Never happened. That little DNA on the dress, how sick is that, by the way? She keeps the dress. Now, what if Trump said this? So let me get this straight. I don't know if they can do this. If Trump takes a stand. Now let me see if I can get this straight. I'm in 20 was it 2019 this happened? 2019 again? No, was it 20? No, not 2019. 2019 is when did this happen? Let me see. E. Jean Carroll. No, but 2019 was, I think, the New York Magazine article or something like that. When did this happen? Let me see this. Okay. What was it? 20-something? Oh, the mid 90s. She says the attack took place in the mid 90s. Okay, it's like 30-something years ago, roughly. Okay, so Trump takes a stand. He says, "All right, let me explain to you what's going on." Yeah, 1997, 99. Okay, so Trump says, "So let me get this straight. So I walked into a Bergdorf Goodman, me, and by the way, I'm at the pinnacle of my success. They love me." This is Trump. I'm on every show there is. Howard Stern, Regis and Kathy. I'm the best. I mean, they love me. And you know who I think loved me? Probably this woman. I don't really know who she is, but she was some kind of a, what did you say she was? She was a gossip or an advice column? Okay, whatever. Is this a picture with her? Yeah, it's a picture. Huh? Dating advice column. What does that tell you? All right. So I guess there's a picture. There are people I've taken pictures with thousands of people. Did you ever see a picture of Trump with either, I don't know, Sammy the Bull, or who knows? He takes pictures all the time. So let me get this straight. So I walked into Bergdorf Goodman and I said, "Wow, hey, look. Boy, I've got my testosterone is raging. Guy gotta get to where's there a is there a fitting room around here? I can't even wait." I just met this woman, right? I just met there. So this is what I did, and all this happened, and then I took a goodbye I am Mr. Trump. Now I know, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know me, and you probably have heard some terrible things, but I've got hotels all over the place. I'm kind of old fashioned. Give me a sort of perfect sleeper and a halogen lamp, and I'm happy. I'm not one of these sex on the beach guys or weird things about bent over some kind of a dressing room. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, with all due respect to this woman, I don't know what you're talking about. Period. End of discussion. Here's Carla, the cooking CEO. She says, Owning a legal consulting firm, CEO, with experience spanning over 50 years. Throughout this time, we've represented clients in various courts, including federal court cases nationwide. She should not profit. Legal mal. Well, legal malpractice, no, not really. But by the way, thank you very much. So let's go through this. The first question is you've got to ask the question: is he going to be able to overcome what she says? Now, if she takes a stand and she does one of these, I'm just saying, let's assume she does, okay? And by the way, again, Carla, thank you very much for your kindness. Seriously, thank you for that. Let's see if it works something like this. She takes the stand. It was a Tuesday. I had on a white. Somebody said that what the dress she had on or the clothes she had on wasn't made yet. Whatever it was, I don't know. But this is what happened. I was standing there and I recognized him. I said, sure, I'll help him. I'll do whatever it was. Maybe I can help him with this because he's Donald Trump. And this is New York and they'll help my career. And the next thing you know, it got out of hand. This is what he did. It was ridiculous. And the more that I withdrew, the more that I was fearful, the more aggressive he got. And I was shocked that I didn't know what the hell to do. And here's the best part. Not the best part, but this is the one that always gets you. She said, let me see here. What was that? That was. Oh, here we go. Witnesses say E. Jean Carroll called. Here we go. Right here. This is from the Guardian. A close friend of E. Jean Carroll has told a New York jury, this was during the first one, that she received a distress call from the advice columnist within minutes of Donald Trump allegedly raping her. Lisa Birnbach testified at E. Jean Carroll's civil action against the former president on Tuesday then, that she was feeding her children at home when Carroll called, breathless, hyperventilating, emotional in 1996. She said, Lisa, you're not going to believe what happened to me. The magazine writer and editor described Carroll giving a brief description of meeting Trump at the entrance to the luxury department store, Bergdorf Goodman, and how they decided to shop together. Birnbach said Carroll described Trump pinning her to a changing room wall and assaulting her. E. Jean said to me many times, he pulled down my tights. He pulled down my tights, almost like she couldn't believe it just happened to her. This is according to Birnbach. Birnbach said that Carroll described Trump forcing his fingers, then his penis. Okay. As soon as she said that, even though my children didn't know the word, I ducked out of the room and whispered, E. Jean, he raped you. You should go to the police. She said, no, I don't want to go to the police. I said, he raped you. I'll take you to the police. And they're going back and forth. She said, promise me you'll never speak of this again. And promise me you'll tell no one. And I promised both of those things. Okay? Now, let me ask you, how do you get by that one? How do you get that one? Billie Jean is not my lover. That's very good. That's very good fun. How do you get by that one? By the way, any problem with hearsay? Anybody here? Any evidence scholars? Any problem with hearsay? Out of court statement made to prove the truth of the matter asserted. If that ain't hearsay, what is? This is the gravamen of the case. Hello? Yes, she called me and said that that man that's on trial now, that he raped her. Yes, he said this. She told me this. Is that hearsay? An out of court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted? Come on now. Any legal scholars? Come on. I'm the trial judge. Anybody want to rule on that? Oh, this is so obvious because everybody, I know you are evidence scholars. There's an exception. The excited utterance exception. What? What? She said it in an excited utterance. She exclaimed it. She screamed it. She shrieked it. This is an exception to the hearsay rule because it has indicia of reliability and is trustworthy. She said it then at the time. She's on the phone crying and screaming. Now, if she called up and said, Lisa, yeah, listen, you're not going to believe this. But guess who just assaulted me? Go ahead. Yep. Donald Trump. Yep. Right there in the now, again, why she would say it like that. But if what she just said had been uttered like that, that is hearsay. That does not come in. That goes directly to the issue at hand. Absolutely. But it's also used, I don't want to get into the res gesti. We don't really care whether it's true or not. We're trying to show that it corroborates that she was saying then what she's saying now. You understand it? Look at Lori. Prove it. Is there phone records? Lori, in 1996, phone records. And by the way, do the phone records, they're friends. What if they said, 1996, for some reason, Lori, you're not going to believe this, I found phone records. I don't know how. From Ma Bell, GTE, I got phone records here. And it shows on this particular day, she talked at least 7 to 8 times. And approximately at that time, which would have been dinner time, 5:30, maybe 6, there's that call. What does that call tell you? Tells you what call came in. What was it? What was said? Well, that's why you have Lisa Birnbach on the stand. You don't have records for everything. Half of the time, people say all the time, what happened? Well, it was I heard a horn honk. Horn honk. I heard a screech of the wheels and a curr. Anybody else hear the horn? What time was that? Are there any recordings of the horns being honked? I said, what? No, sometimes you just take the person's word for it. They're a witness. They swear under oath. That's what happened. Now, what do you do in cross-examination? What would you do in a cross-examination? Lisa Birnbach, smart woman. I don't know if she's a very famous, there is a woman named, remember the official preppy handbook? I don't know if it's the same one, but what are you going to do? How would you cross-examine her? What would you do? What would you do with her? Yeah, it's the same one? Yeah. R. Heath says, hi, Lionel Nation. Hello, Ramona. How have you been? Good to see you. What phone was used? No. Lori, Lori's asking the wrong question. Here's what I would have done. Ms. Birnbach, yes. Would you describe yourself as a close friend of Miss Carroll? Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. No further witness. No further. I don't want to talk to her. Get her off the stand. Get her off the stand. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. So, are you sure you said that? Are you sure she was crying? I love when people repeat the testimony. So you're telling the jury that she was screaming? Now, is there anything you want to do with don't tell the police, call the police, don't call the police? Anything you want to go there with? Remember, this is going to be from the first trial, not the second one, not the defamation. You want to go with that? You want to tear apart? Some women don't want to call the police. I'm not going to go into that. So what's Trump's defense? It never happened, or not really sure. Remember what I told you before. Listen carefully. There's a big difference. In Trump saying, I don't know who she is. You're crazy, as opposed to, oh, we did it. We had a bit of a fling. Oh, yeah. See, then you can do something with that. You mean you have, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We went back there. She kind of coaxed me, and we said, it's kind of like a version of the Mile High Club, so to speak. If that had happened, then you could argue, well, maybe there was consent initially, then consent was withdrawn, and then later on something else happened. That's a different story. What's Trump's defense? I don't know who this woman is. The Brad says, has Trump ever reached out to you to represent him? And would you if you had the opportunity? Hell no. Hell no. You wouldn't listen to me? No. What's the defense? No, seriously, what is it? What are you going to do? That she's what? She's full of it? She's making it up? She's lying? Okay, that's not going to go very well. What do you do? How is she? I want to see her in a deposition. Does she cry? Ooh. Now, what about this? Some of you have said, didn't she say some things on other TV shows, honey, on Anderson Cooper, or she said things about sexual matters, or whether, whatever. Let's assume she says something really stupid in some, let me see something. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Remember they were suggesting there was a something from Law and Order where she might have. This is from the first one. She says, former Elle magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll testified, told the jury she didn't report the alleged attack to police because she felt it was shameful to do so. Okay. Carroll, who brought the lawsuit in November, and this goes back, this is from 2023, alleges that Trump, this is from ABC News, alleges that Trump defamed her in a 2022 Truth Social post by calling her allegations a hoax and a lie, and saying this woman is not my type. Oh, God. That is so stupid. When he denied her claim that Trump raped her in a Bergdorf, she added a charge of battery under a recent adopted New York law that allows adult survivors to, okay, whatever. Asked by her attorney, Michael Ferrara, why she never went to the authorities, Carroll said, because Trump was very powerful. Okay, fine. First of all, I wouldn't go to the police. It was shameful to go to the police. She said Donald Trump had too much power. Okay, fine. Early under cross-examination by defense attorney Joe Tacopina, cross-examination, Carroll also said she didn't report the alleged attack because as a woman born in the 1940s, she's a member of the silent generation that didn't speak up about such things. The exchange came after Tacopina introduced several of her advice columns for Elle magazine, in which she suggested that her readers call the police in the event of a sexual assault or threat. There were numerous times where you advise your readers to call the police. This is Tacopina said. In most cases, I advise my readers to go to the police. I was born in 1943, she says. I'm a member of the silent generation. Women like me were taught to keep your chin up and not complain. Then later on, there was something about this. Look at this one. Tacopina also asked Carroll about her shopping habits, saying, you've made many purchases at Bergdorf's since 1995 and 1996. I've not made many, but I've made several. He then displayed an itemized list of 23 purchases Carol made from 2001 to 2018, totaling $13,000, and said the purchases made it clear that Carol was not afraid to enter the store, allegedly where she was assaulted. Bergdorf's is not a place I'm afraid to enter. What was the point of that? I want to see. The former. There's a Law and Order episode of 2012. It says a woman getting raped in Bergdorf Goodman dressing room. I'm aware of it. The Law and Order refers. Writers are very good. Okay, let me stop right there. Let me just stop. Do you hear? Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Do you think that this woman is going to come forward and say, "All right, I made it up. All right, I made it up. I don't know what you're talking about. You're right. I did it." Hang on a minute. I missed this. Pluffy writes, truth is if it was any other president, this case would have been buried one way or another. Even if it was true, it was unthinkful to go after a U.S. president. Probably if it was somebody else. I think you're right about that. That doesn't do any good for Trump, but that's good. Ibrahim says, exaggerated. Adults who are emotionally well developed overall understand that maturity includes listening to other perspectives and often having to reason without the limbic system to meet the better conclusion. Ibrahim, you are a monster, my friend. Thank you. Lori Cook says, Carol is wild and likes the young men. I don't know what that means. That doesn't matter. And by the way, I found out women are the most brutal when it comes to this. Now, let me ask you a question. How would you have cross-examined her? First of all, would you cross-examine her? Would you cross-examine her? Would you? Seriously. Seriously. What are you cross-examining? What is she going to say? What? She is the complaining witness. Has she said something that so glaring, so you say that you came in at 10 o'clock? Yeah. Bergdorf's closes at 9. They're never open at 10. Maybe that might be something. But you didn't call the police. There was a Law and Order over this, didn't you? Yeah. Lori Cook says nothing. I don't know what that means, but thank you. So you're going to go back. Now, here's my point to you. Here's my question. This is a civil case. The evidence must be proved based upon the preponderance of the evidence. You've got to ask yourself the question, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. See, I would have much rather had Carol's case than Trump's. Easy. Carol's case is easy. She says this stuff. She's got corroborating evidence. You want to rip her apart? Go ahead. Good luck. I'm just sitting back and I'm watching this. Here's what you would say in closing argument. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for having spent the time. Hell, you're under subpoena. It's not like it came on, you always say, thank you for this. Thank you for lending your expertise. Thank you for listening to some testimony, which admittedly from time to time was very difficult to hear. Thank you. Laurie says, ZZ eats beats to the beat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Okay. That's right. Anyway. And we're very sorry that you had to listen to this. We're very sorry that you had to listen to this. We're very sorry that you had to sit here and listen to these horrible, 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 horrible things. We apologize that and you keep building it up like you had to listen to the horrible story about what this man did. This is not exactly novel, but I would apologize for them. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to ask you a question. If you believe it is more likely than not that this occurred, that this sexual assault, you must find for the plaintiff E. Jean Carroll. Not reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt's that seesaw that says reasonable doubt. Like that's a criminal case. You've got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh, I don't know about reasonable doubt. This is civil. Imagine a seesaw at 50-50, dead even. There's proof there is just no, it's dead. Nothing's been proved, nothing been disproved. It's just flat. And if I can do just a little bit more, 0.001% more, is it more likely than not that this occurred? That is a verdict in favor of the plaintiff, Ms. Carroll. That's it. You can do, and is it more likely than not? Is it more likely than not that Lori Cuck was responsible where she was on the grassy knoll with Lucien Sarti in 1963 in Dallas? Is it more likely than not that she was badge man, that she was responsible? Yeah. What does that mean? Is it more likely than not? I guess. What? Imagine going into court and you're hurt, you fell down, whatever. Is it more likely than not? Yeah, it's more likely. It's an easy burden. It's simple. And you get preponderance of the evidence. I don't want to get into this stuff. But the point is, we're not talking criminal, reasonable doubt and all that stuff. That seesaws up like this. This is. So tell me, what would you say? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this woman is lying. This never happened. The only reason why they're charging Trump is because he's the president. That's all. This woman has been bankrolled by this guy. Objection. Oh, I can see that one. Oh, she's some operative. She's some radical lefty, George Soros backed billionaire, World Economic Forum, radical woke left, anti-MAGA, lefty, left, rotten commie who just putting this together. Now all of a sudden, all these now I come from in the 40s. We don't say anything. Well, what about now? What about now? What changed your mind? Just didn't prove it. Bye. Well, that could be your. But think about this. She just said that she was from the 40s. She kept quiet. What happened? What happened? You wrote about it. How did anybody hear about this? You talked about it. And then when he refutes it and he says, you're crazy, Vince McMahon, did you hear what Vince McMahon says in regards to what his allegations? He goes, that's just nuts. I never did it. She's making it up. How many people don't do this? You're crazy. I never did this. It's an expression. So all of a sudden, she had a change of heart. 1 minute she doesn't say anything. Gee, I wonder why. Now, if you think that's enough, now remember, if there's anything, if I'm watching this, if I'm in that courtroom and I'm thinking that if I'm watching how they're, and I'm going to have a bunch of people watching it, tell me how the jury's looking at her, because I don't want to keep staring at the jury. But they may look at her with contempt, as opposed to, you don't want to see this. Oh, no. Is somebody crying? Oh, God. They're crying. Not good. And you can have some fun with that. You can always. I think somebody said you didn't remember the day. You want to have fun with that? You mean to tell me everybody remembers the day their kid was born, the day of the accident, the day you called, the day. And I'm sure you've called. You must have. You're a writer, for God's sakes. And you don't remember that, that kind of thing. So what does that mean? She's making it up? To which you could also have Kaplan, not the judge, but her lawyer, come in and say, "Oh yeah, she just made this up." And plus, I would have gone back and played as much of the deposition as possible, and the cross examination. I don't know what Trump's going to. Could they have not just settled this somehow? Could they have not just settled it? Listen, for whatever it's worth, what do you want? Let's do an NDA, not undisclosed, or just let it go. Be done with this. How much money has he spent? How many illiquid assets does he have? Seriously. And don't forget, we've got that case coming up with that other judge who wants to bankrupt him and his entire family. Completely. We got that, plus this, plus all the lawyers he owes, all the fees. Remember, he's got that original case with Alvin Bragg, right? He has this one. Edge Dweller says, as a consequence, in my opinion, of this and similar cases, many men will refrain from interacting with other people to limit this type of possible exposure. You damn right. You better believe it. Lori Cook says, has she done this before? I don't know. Has she what? Has she lied? Has she claimed this? I have no idea. Now, by the way, Edge, thank you. Lori gets into a really good stuff. Let's talk about something called impeaching the witness. Impeaching the witness in evidence is not like impeaching the witness in the president. Impeachment is making her look bad. Has she ever been convicted of a felony or a crime involving dishonesty or false statement, a crimen falsi case? Has she ever made similar claims before? Is she? You can also bring up that you're asking for $5 million. $5 million. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Who approached Reid Hoffman to bankroll the case? You know what? That's a very interesting case. And let me ask you something, George. Would that come in? Who bankrolled what? What difference does it make? Do you think that has any relevance? Do you think the jury, obviously in a motion to eliminate, does it matter? A lot of times people are, who bankrolled well, you can't bankroll the defense, but, oftentimes, various organizations will bring lawsuits on behalf of, environmental cases. If I were the judge, I would say, no, we're not going to talk about who bankrolled what, because that's under 403, 403, for example. Does the evidence, albeit relevant, does it mislead? Are people going to say, well, who bankrolled what? Now, what about this one? Ms. Now, this is if you've got nothing to lose and you think that maybe there's a chance the jury doesn't like her. You don't want to do this and have it blow up in your face. Ms. Carol, what's the E stand for? What's the E? What is it? Have you ever noticed? I always ask somebody, what's the E? E. Jean Carroll. Let me look this up. E. Jean. J. Edgar Hoover. E. Jean. What is her name? Let me see. Full name. Elizabeth Jean Carroll. She's 80 years old. Elizabeth Jean. So ask E. Jean. It's like E. Jean Marshall. Remember that? One time I asked G. Gordon Liddy, I said, what's the G for? He said, George. I said, I got it. G. So Ms. Carol, how much have you made? What's the biggest salary you've ever made in your life? Biggest check you've received, biggest year biggest? What's the biggest you've ever received? Ever. And let's assume during the course of this you have some kind of discovery. Did you make $500,000? Well, no. Maybe you did. I don't know. Could be. Did you? You're looking to make 5 million. This is before the 83. 5 million. You know, a million is a lot. Do you know how many years a million days is? It's like 2,700 years. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. $5 million. And he's got it, doesn't he? Yes. And I'm just curious. And people are going to want to say. And by the way, what I'm telling you now sometimes is best. Tell them in closing. You don't have to tell them on ground. You don't want her to say, this is not about anything involving money. By the way, we have 300 likes. Thank you. Thank you, Anna Tonino. We have 300 likes. Thank you. You're not giving any of this money, if you get it, to some kind of a rape crisis, or this is for you. Okay, fine. Now, again, this is really dangerous stuff. But you know what? You got nothing to lose. So later on, you can say, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here. Well, let me just tell you what I think happened, and then you can decide what we may have had here. Now, remember, it depends what Trump said. If Trump said, I was not in Bergdorf, I don't know who she is, it never happened, whatever. As opposed to, we started things may have gotten out of hand. Maybe she gave me the wrong signals. I don't know what it is. But if you make her out to be some money-grubbing person who said, I'm not going to do anything, then later I change my mind, and they say, why don't you sue? Okay, maybe. And then all of a sudden you're in the middle of this case and you realize this case is a dog. Well, I gotta keep this thing going. I can't stop now. This is a hell of a payday. And not only that, I'll be the hero. I'm going to bring Donald Trump down. Me, and my attorney Kaplan. We did it. I did it. Not Stormy Daniels, not McDougal, none of these people. Me. I'm going to be the toast of liberaldom. They'll offer me a show on MSDNC. Move over, Rachel Maddow. It's the E. Jean Carroll show. I'll get my thing back again. Whatever. And again, I'm not necessarily suggesting this, but it can be insinuated. Rafael Legonde said, Mr. Lionel, this form of government shall not perish. Abraham Lincoln said this exactly to prevent a moment like this from happening again. Is Texas the new South Carolina? Rafael, you are a man of incredible depth, and I thank you for that. Good luck with this if you've got nothing to lose. Because you can really you can really go, you could say, let me explain to you what's going on right now. This is a chance. This is the big time. Yeah, she'll get $5 million, $10 million, whatever she wants. He's a billionaire, right? Daddy Warbucks. Deep pockets, whatever. But not only that. She can be this. Okay, fine. Now, can that be done? Absolutely. To impeach the witness, to show her motivation, to show bias, to show interest, why she might lie, why others might lie. You better believe she can do this. Absolutely. But it's very dangerous. Dangerous. And the problem now is you better tell that Hamina to sit down and shut up. Don't make any more speeches. We don't want to hear from you. Let this go away. Let me try this again. President Trump and Alina, shut up. The country has the attention span of a gnat. They're not going to remember this. Shut up. Let it go. Period. If you had to say something, if it's incumbent upon you or you've got to get your mug on TV, you can thank the jury for their service. You can actually, even if you really want to be a sport, commend your opposing counsel. Most professional. I want to thank a most professional and thorough judge. The jury has spoken. While we do not agree with it, we will certainly be reviewing what post-trial remedies we have in a tribunal in a court of competent jurisdiction to review matters of an appeal, which I will discuss with my client. Thank you very much and have a nice day and go away. Edge Dweller says, while I was dreaming, Jeff Bezos assaulted my with a toothbrush in a plane. I won $1 billion, trillion, $1 million for mental anguish. Edge, let me ask you a question. Have you read of the young lady who claims she was assaulted during VR, virtual reality? What you're saying, believe it or not, may actually not be far from the truth. Think about that one. Think about that one. Now, do you think Alina can keep her mouth shut? No. You think Trump can keep her mouth shut? No. Let it go away. Better get some good appellate counsel and go at it. They're going to appeal to the Second Circuit here. In the meantime, oh, Stay Blessed says, you're a cool cat. Infinite gratitude. Well, thank you, Stay. I appreciate that. You know, I'm going to try to explain this thing to you. I like when somebody says, this can't be. Where the hell have you been before? Where have you been? Who said anything about this being fair? Do you know what would happen? Let me ask you something. Do you know what would happen if somebody actually made all of this up and it never happened? It happened before. I don't want to say it happens all the time, but it could. Do you know how many people pick up a phone call? Let's say one of you gentlemen might be on a restraining order, ex-wife, girlfriend, and they're told, or you're told, whatever, you can't be within X amount of feet. She picks up the phone and says, he's driving by my house. And you say, I wasn't there, and you can't prove it. And they arrest you based on her word. Happens all the time. Does that mean the system is wrong? Or does that mean that it's easily circumvented? How about kids who were raped and hurt and lost in the system where nobody's charged? That's the same system. This is where not enough is done. No, it's anytime you put human beings together, you're going to get this. For the most part, though, it works pretty well. It really does. I mean, surprisingly, day in, day out, it works well. But all of a sudden, somebody says, "Hey, this is really rotten." The problem is simply this: if you're in the trial level, oh dear God, now we've got to talk about what you're going to do, how you're going to sit, how you're going to look, what you're going to wear. Remember that woman? She was a psychopath. She killed this guy, this Mormon, stabbed him, gutted this guy. And then she went and she had the little glasses she was on. What was her name? Remember who I'm talking about? She had this teacher's glasses on. She seemed very prim and proper. She seemed very nice. Her defense it made no sense. Remember her name? It was big on CNN and Nancy Grace did it. You know what I mean? There was Jodi Arias. Thank you. Yes. She was good. She really, she looked the part like you cannot believe. Body language is not body language. One thing is, I would say, I don't ever want you leaning over and smiling at me like you're confident. I don't want you ever interrupting me. Here's a pad. Here you go. Here's a pen. And you write down whatever questions you have. Leave me alone. Do not look at the jury. Look straight ahead. Look down. Look like this man who's terrified, which you should be. Show absolutely no feeling. When the jury comes out, we stand up. Always, always, always. We're never going to be asked to stand up. We show respect for them. You sit down. And hope to God you don't have one of those clients with the neck tattoos and all that stuff. Thank God. Then you got to ask yourself the question. Here's the courtroom, right? The front is the judge. Let's say the jury is on this side. Who's got the table next to the jury? The worst is when sometimes it depends. Plaintiff is you're always over here. You gotta kind of get to see, hey, look at us, as opposed to being next to the jury, where they feel kind of they get to see your books. Bring things, look prepared, bring trial cases. Look like, boy, these guys are rough. Look how I don't care if you even look at them. Just bring your big. I got a trial case. I still have this thing. You can put a family of 5 in it. Looks great. Put all kinds of stuff, all kinds of books. Like, look at this guy, really knows what he's doing. How about this one? Sometimes you'd be surprised. Sometimes we had one judge used to do his checkbook. Wouldn't pay attention. Very rare, but sometimes it happens. What about if you slide the lectern between the witness and the jury? I'm in the middle. So I slide it so that they can't see. Every now and then that used to work. Most of the time it doesn't. They'll say, no, don't move that. Don't touch that. But you could actually move it. You could pretend and the jury's trying to get an eye for how you doing on that one. Okay? The worst feeling in the world is when you hear normally 1 buzzer is a question, 2 buzzer is a verdict. Oh no. That's a verdict. Oh God, it's a verdict. They're in there. And the bailiff goes out. Do you have a verdict? Yeah. Got a verdict. Call everybody. Clerk calls everybody down there. We got a verdict. Years ago, true story, there was a case where the judge said to the jury, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have you go into this jury room. We're going to handle some matters that are really not for you to concern yourself with. I don't want you to discuss the case. Do not reach a verdict. Do not discuss anything. You can talk to each other about the weather, about the sports, but do not talk about the case. Do not discuss any verdicts. You understand? Yes. They went outside. 10 minutes later, they had a verdict. True story. They weren't paying attention. And when that verdict comes out, oh my God. When they walk out, you always see, and you always guess who's going to be the foreman. I think that one is. You always figure out which is the leader. The leader kind of, because they go back there, they don't know what to do. Nobody says, okay, you go back and you get 12 pieces of paper and you vote. And the first thing you do is you say, do we have a verdict? It's got to be unanimous. Do we have one? Look at this. Lori Cook says, mine ended with a hung jury. What? Were you the defendant or were you a juror? By the way, hung jury means you get to do it again, which is a victory for a defendant. No matter what happens, it's a mistrial. But when they come out, they always say, did he look at the defendant? Did he look at him? If they did, that's good for you. Nonsense. No matter how many times you think the jury comes up, they look at you, they don't know. They're tired. There was a story years ago. Some of these are old jokes. I don't know if they're true or not, but there was a story, apparently some kind of a terrible offense. And this woman, the witness says, ma'am, what did he tell you? He says, well, I'm I'm a little embarrassed. I don't want to say it now. Can I write it down? He said, how about that, Judge? Yes. And can we publish it to the jury? By the way, anytime you show something to the jury, it's called publishing it to the jury. Defendant criminal trial. You were the defendant, Lori. Again, I'm asking, were you the defendant or were you I guess you were a defendant. Right arm. The woman writes the note down, gives it to the lawyer, shows the judge. Judge says, okay. Goes over to the you never get near the jury. It's the bailiff or the court officer. He hands it. Look, first guy looks at this note that this woman just wrote down. Oh God! Obviously, visibly, hands it to the next one. Apparently, the other guy, one of them was apparently asleep. He goes like this. He reads this and he says, and puts it away. So the joke goes. Whether it happened or not, I have no idea. Look at this. Here I am. I'm going absolutely nuts. And somebody says, someone just liked my review of the local Chinese takeaway. It's a very iconic review. I'm pouring my heart out. Lori says, I was so scared. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Or he says, why didn't they focus on how this helped her financially? Because no one ever heard of her before. Well, that's what Alina Hamana was trying to get at, but that's a remember, this was in the damages stage. This was the damages. This is what are you going to do? You're just saying this you weren't, because they've already established liability. Now it's how much? Because here's the question. How have you been hurt? Here's a good one. Let's say that Chinese takeaway you're talking about. Let's say you wrote something which was bad. And somebody said, this guy came in, claimed he went to my Chinese restaurant or my restaurant, said he found a roach in it. He lied. He libeled me. Nobody came. I lost this amount of business, We had to close because of this terrible, fake, libelous, defamatory review. That's easy. Other than that, my reputation's been harmed. How? Now, let me also ask something. How many of you have had your reputation sullied? How many of you, if you want to have your reputation, go on social media. Good luck with this one. They'll tear you apart. People all the time are being yelled at and treated like garbage. It happens quite a bit, sad to say. So these are some of the considerations that, in any event, an hour and 18 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I have done my utmost to teach you tonight something. Ramona, thank you so much. Ramona's got some damn. Lori Cuck, will the defendant please rise? Thank you, Lori. Glad it turned out okay. Stay blessed. Thank you. Edge Dweller, Rafael Lagonde, Mr. George Lenz, thank you as well, my friend. Ibrahim, thank you, dear friend. Thank you so much. Pluffy, the Brad, again, Ramona, Carla, the cooking CEO, thank you. Bull Trader. Let me see who else is there. And let me see. And that's that. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot tell you enough how much that means to me. Your hard-earned money, your support makes this worthwhile and is much appreciated. Thank you so much. And that's for all of you. All of you. You understand this? All of you. All right, dear friends. We will reconvene tomorrow at 8 a.m. Thank you so much. You were just tremendous. We could have a great time. Do you feel like you learned a little bit more about kind of the way the trial law works? Not appellate stuff, not Supreme Court, trial. getting things in, keeping people up. Always thinking it's the jury, it's the jury, it's the jury. It's not about you and me, it's the jury. It's a wonderful, wonderful profession, which I'm most proud to be a part of. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And until then, dear friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.